anybody watching the video, please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. Hello and welcome everyone to the second episode of the Gatineau Valley Youth Voices podcast broadcast now. I am your host, Jessie and I am here today with Kevin Morris. He has come to share a little bit of his story, being a longtime local in the area. He has been in and throughout the community in many different ways. And hopefully in the show, I'll be able to share a little bit of my experience as to how I met Kevin, how I got to know him, and I guess the story that we both share today.
And you are a part of what's happened back 2011-12. That reminded me I should get involved again with community because I had by accident almost when I was in university chances that just popped up that I needed and which led to the youth center starting up basically.
Yeah, I know it had been last time I was speaking with somebody who was in the program. We had actually looked back and realized it's been 14 or 15 years since we had the...
2011, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah, 14 years since we had the Skills Link program.
Yeah.
So I guess to introduce that a little bit, back whenever I was about, I'd say 17, I was about 17. I was living in Danford Lake with my father, and at the time my mother had actually been the one, I guess, who had spoke with either you or Pixie or Bonnie, I think, and she had heard about it, that there was like a small interview session with you guys.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So she came to see me in Danford and asked me if I wanted the job. At the time, I was unemployed. Me and my father were, we were both very poor growing up. So I had seen this opportunity and I went to the CAS library. I sat down with you and Pixie. We talked a little bit about skills that I might have had in the past, where I was in life at the moment. And from there, I guess to really introduce the project, you guys had showed us a bunch of multimedia art skills. Yeah, you had shown us mostly the Adobe, I think it was CS5.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because I was, I had been a potter, my squirrel burnt down my studio, and I went over to the SAW Video, which is a media center in Ottawa, and I got the job there. And which led me to actually to youth centers and the importance of youth centers, because following that I got a job when I dropped out of that. That took me to youth centers across the country, from Tuktoyaktuk to downtown Toronto.
And what started the idea of Skills Link? Was this like a project idea that you and I guess like saw?
Oh, that was at SAW Video, yeah, like after the squirrel freed me of pottery.
Yeah.
I'd done that for 18 years. And I think seniors generally have a lot of stories, but I got the job there and we upgraded our equipment. My job was to get the funding and stuff.
Okay.
And a guy came in to to rent the equipment for youth in their villages, which is down around Smith Falls in that area.
Okay.
The small communities there, Perth and so forth, to do a video of how they spend a day in their town.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and it was a big success. That's how he knew me. But that also was evaluated by Federal Justice Department.
Okay.
And a number of others. And they saw the importance of youth centers.
Okay. So everybody kind of like think tanked on the idea, and then you guys kind of just spread it out across other youth centers.
Yeah, because I think of the same thing that could happen here, because in one town, he rented the equipment, and the kids did a video of how they spent a day in, I think it was Smith Falls, or no, I think this one was Arm Prior.
Oh, okay.
And they shot that, and then they had a presentation of it, and they trained themselves and Les, who had been employed in halfway houses for criminals, basically, taught them how to make a presentation to a council.
Oh, okay.
And they did that, and they showed the show. And the mayor said, I've never seen such a good... There was three. One came in with the screen, another one came in with the mics and so forth, and the other one gave the presentation. And about 4 or 5 minute one, really fast, plus about 10 minutes of the video. And that's my memory anyways. But the short of it is, the mayor says, you have made the best presentation to our council that we ever have done.
Oh, wow.
Or I ever have seen. We're going to write you a $10,000 check to keep going.
That's impressive.
And that could happen here too, because the municipality that really helped the most was Casabajra, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's where you were.
Yeah, and I think it was forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm terrible with names, Robert Bergeron was the...
No, it was one before him.
Before him.
But he was soon after too.
Oh, okay.
But Les had introduced me to the SkillsLink projects, which is the federal employment program.
Oh, okay.
And that's yes, there was a picnic or something happening beside the library, and talked and so forth, and we applied for a SkillsLink project, and that started.
Okay.
That's how I met you.
Yes. Well, I remember the SkillsLink program. It had gifted, well, I say gifted because I find it was a gift, a great opportunity. Had gifted 12 youth the opportunity to learn different media art skills. Me personally, I had gotten more into the say like the audio aspect and some of the film as well.
Okay.
I know that I had worked on set with like Dan Gainsford a couple of times. He had shown me a couple of tricks with photography and film, and Pixie as well. She was she's very great.
She was a member of Saw Video. She was producing using that equipment there too.
Yeah, well, she definitely brought a very well catered set of skills for us as youth, and I'll say personally, after the program, I have continued to use those skills both in my work, personal life, my social life. How else could I explain that? A friend, me and my friend, or my friend and I, he has a YouTube channel where we do some fishing. And I have just recently started hanging out with him again, and we've been going on a couple of adventures and trips.
Right.
So he has some editing skills prior to me meeting him. And whenever I had met him, we kind of conversed a little bit, and he realized I had a couple of skills from the SkillsLink program. He had some, so self-taught. So we ended up working together, and it's...
You still work together?
Yeah, we
That's
still
amazing.
Work together. We're still producing videos and working on music as well a little bit now. So,
I think I did tell you, like one of the skills that you focused on was what I had focused on when I was in second year university in Ottawa. And one day, the sociology prof gave us a list of articles to read. There was 2 pages of a list. And I came back the week after, and I thought I did really well. I got 3 articles done, I read. Everybody else in the class had almost read them all. And I said, I got a problem.
Yeah.
And because growing up here in this area, like there was no library. I think the only print I'd see when I was young was the journal. That's what my dad
Oh, okay.
always had. And so essentially, I think I told you that, or I told somebody else, you just underline the sentence and speed you're up. And that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I went from 30, 40 words a minute to about 300 in a matter of a month.
Oh, wow.
And then that got me into some other language. I got enough Spanish that I was able to go to Mexico. I worked with international development there. It just happened. Sometimes you just need a break.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you're just presented with an opportunity.
yeah, or just by luck, because the person who gave the workshop in reading, he just showed up at St. Pat's College at that point, and I said, "Oh, got to take that."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I can definitely relate on that because I felt the same way in my position at home when I was presented with the skills link. I jumped on it for sure. And actually, following up on to your story, I remember when I had first gotten into the skills link, I was also a very slow reader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
it was you then, I couldn't.
Yeah, it was you and I that had worked together. You had shown me about underlining my sentences, helping to speed up. And between you and my father was more removing the ifs, ands, and buts.
Okay.
So just grasping the main concept of the conversation, and it allowed me to leaf through pages and just grasp the conversation and get a couple of details in here and there. And I find it drastically improved my life for, say, like being able to read like articles or things inside of the newspaper, where it was kind of like somebody would hand me something and I would sit down with it and I'd start to read, and then they'd be asking me, well, it stops here. You don't have to read the next. I'm still on like the first paragraph of the second paragraph.
Yeah.
And they would look at me like, well, you should already be done by now. And then that started to click in that other people around me had noticed I was slower than them. So I said, well, then maybe I need to start picking up my pace. And now, I feel like
Do you think that just the internet and is also dissuade, kind of making it turning?
Personally, I think the internet is turning both adults and youth dumber by the day.
You do, eh?
I do. I find that both the incorporation of AI and just the internet in general has caused people to stop thinking for themselves. They've stopped problem solving. They've stopped, being curious, seeking out questions or knowledge, and I find they just tend to Google the answer.
Yeah,
and if Google doesn't has it, ChatGPT has it. And, it's access to information in an instant.
It does remind me of another lucky time that helped me move forward and eventually actually getting a degree. Was I went to Montreal with the group after I got into the Mexican group. I still had to learn Spanish enough to be accepted. So the first year I didn't get in, but the second year I did. But at the very beginning almost, they were going off to Montreal with a group discussion. And I sat on the floor, we were all sat. I never hung out with people, except a card game at St. Pat's, because I wanted to just sit with the group.
Okay, yeah.
I knew nobody. But here I was, just sat down with them all, I didn't know. And then a lady, a woman came over and said, "Oh, who are you?" and blah, blah, blah. And "Are you a reactionary?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm a reactionary." And then she gets up and walks away. I thought reactionary meant revolutionary.
Oh.
It was just the opposite.
Okay.
It was just things like that that really moved me forward.
Oh, okay.
Also, then I focused on sociology more and international development and stuff like that. But you just, having this effort to talk with youth centers across the country may open up other doors for other people.
And may I kind of branch on that or follow
Sure,
up
yeah.
on that as well? As the purpose of this broadcast or podcast is to bring light onto youth voices. We want to provide a space where youth can come on, they can talk about issues, they can talk about current events, things that are concerning them both in their community or concerning them nationally. And we aim to post weekly a video where we will try to bring on an interviewee or at least discuss a topic that we find would be, say, trending or valid in our current time. And I would say that, how would we say it? I am grateful to have Kevin on the show with us today, because without Kevin's help and support, this show and this broadcast would not have started. So I think it has been a great idea to have somebody such as himself come on, introduce himself, share a little bit of his story, and just give a little bit of background. I just really want to thank you for coming on, for providing this for youth nationally, for the help.
Well, I can talk, but your skills is seeing it moving forward, because what I've concluded, especially working with youth centers from Tuktoyaktuk to downtown Toronto, it's all very important where youth sit down and talk about their stresses, talk about what's normal, what resources, like a lot of people don't know the resources that they could benefit from in their own village.
Anybody watching the video, please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. Once we have reached 50 subscribers on YouTube, we will be able to go live. And if we get enough support on Instagram and we reach 1,000 followers, guys, we can start shooting live broadcasts there as well. So then you guys could join us on the broadcast. Feel free to ask questions, give us advice, correct us if we're wrong on something. We would absolutely love to be able to connect with you guys more. So the more you guys do for us, the more we're able to do for you. And that's what we're hoping for, is to carry this forward, start connecting youth, communities, and...
Yeah, because, well, I can go back to another topic is one of the reasons why I've moved out of the board of the youth center here, but about climate change and so forth.
Yeah.
But the short of it is, and I learned about that in a co-op also in Ottawa, where one of the guys who moved in with us was a glaciologist. He cored down into the ice in the earth in the north to see how the climate is affecting the melting of the ice and so forth. And I think what they are saying is what we've been doing, what being become, in this case, the youth center, where it brings people together to talk and so forth.
Yeah.
And these recently, this is just very recent, the scientists that I now follow up with say that the problem now, they thought the most serious problem was going to be in 2075. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Now they're pushing it back to 2050 is where it's going to. Yeah, because there was an article in the on one of the YouTubes about Iran, and they're looking at having maybe to pull out now 30 million people because the agriculture in the last it's all wilting up. Even already the heating is affecting.
30 million people evacuation.
That was the headline, and I read it and so forth.
Wow.
So, well, we have a son and they have children. We have two sons and they have children, and basically they're screwed, and the actions have to happen now. But they were saying that these two scientists, different people, but they both were saying, because it's not happening at the government level. They are saying that youth have to, well, talk to their parents and say, blah, 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 what are we going to do? And that forces them to maybe change their attitude even to some of their children where there's a division. And also to initiate actions in their community. So if every community across the world, for that matter, pushed for what the sciences are finding that have to happen, like, anyways, so that's why one reason why I've started trying to have youth talk to youth, and every province is different.
Yeah, well, even myself, like I'd say my generation, like for those who don't know, I was born in the mid 90s, so around 30s. And I remember when I was in high school, Al Gore was the big thing.
Oh, okay.
And now everybody, like my history class, my social studies, it was all about global warming, climate change. And I think it was a big thing for about a year where everybody talked about him, you know, that he had the whole video for us and everything. And then it just seemed to fade out. Like it was just like a, how you say it, like a trend.
Yeah, a trend,
But I don't think that global warming is a trending case. I think it's a constant ongoing issue that even down at the community level now, we are going to have to face, and we are going to have to make some changes.
Yeah, and I think that's why youth voices are important, because it's not only climate change, it's like there's no library here in Low. Like libraries are...
Like I know, like
so important.
We don't have very, how do you say it, very... I guess like advertised or very like prominent libraries in our communities. Like Low has one, but it's beside the hall, in behind the CLSC.
In the community hall.
Yeah. But I remember like even growing up as a kid and going to the school, I had no idea that there was a library. And when I found out, it was a small room in basically the basement or main floor of the building. And when I was first growing up, that's how CAS was. Before the library was there, the community center where the, I guess the offices are, it was the basement underneath. So it was a room probably about this size with donated books and CDs.
Where was that again?
At the Casabazua municipal office.
Okay,
yeah. And it was only in the following years. I don't have a very fond memory of that because I was more in Danford than Cas, but either the building was built or the building was there previously, and then they had moved it from under the municipal offices into what is now currently our Cas library.
Well, if...
but I find that, how do you say it, change of times as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
With our cell phones, we have Audible for listening to, say, books just with audio. I know that there's a couple other apps now that you can actually just have the books right onto your phone or your tablets, and you're swiping through. And I feel like books are a dying item in this generation.
Yeah, I find some magazines are even better than journalists because they're, and I get some really good articles they're like the Walrus, for instance, in Toronto. But nevertheless, but still it comes down to meeting up, and I hope that, I don't know if he's moving forward with that. I'll talk to Patrick there who got elected. Someone did say that he's thinking of a cultural center, but this here could be more active as well.
I want to thank everybody for following us through this far. Thank you for watching, and here's looking forward to next week's episode. You guys will either be joining me on a solo broadcast, or I do have hopefully a secret interviewee, somebody that I go way back with, who was actually with us in the Skills Link program.
Oh, okay.
So once I get a confirmation about that, then I'll be able to share with you guys who we're going to have on. So
I
until
am pushing the feds to relaunch their employment program because that was so important. When I was with Youth Centres Canada, I saw different small villages, and one guy, well, I saw he got into the equipment and the books and so forth, and he ended up getting an Oscar winner with a team in the production. He moved forward, and he just making, sometimes by luck, you see somebody, but then somebody is there with them, and they like maybe the way you talk and whatever, and that is so important for youth to work together, talk together, and bring in people who may have businesses in here that fits exactly what you want.
And that is also something I am hoping to bring to this show. I have been speaking with a couple of, associates, friends of mine, and some of these people are small business owners, self-started, self-taught. Other ones have had help in the process. So I'm hoping to bring them on and get them to share their story from where they started and how they got to where they are now, and any possible, connections, resources that we could provide youth. Because I would say, bouncing back to one thing that you had said, was that sometimes children or youth are unaware of the resources in their area.
Well, totally.
And I think a prime example of this was up in Maniwaki. We had... I work as a commercial cleaner, and I happened to be cleaning a couple of the Maniwaki schools at the time.
Right.
And I had asked some of the children or some of the youth if they had any knowledge of resources around them. And one of the ones I had brought up was the, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the CLD, and it is a company in Maniwaki that provides grants for small businesses run by youth. And you guys had actually introduced the CLD to us in the Skills Link program.
Oh, I see.
And we had Bonnie Vanessa come in and show us how to write cover pages and how to write grants properly. And then we could take those ideas to the CLD, and they would give us a grant up to a certain amount, so long as everything was all listed out. But half of these kids in the community had no idea that something that simple and that easy to get a small business going was 2 streets away from their school.
I have to also, I mirror something like you're just talking about. When I got into the CASP group, which is going to Mexico, one guy came and gave I forget his name, he was working in the government in international development, and he basically drew a funnel on the blackboard, and that is what you need to know in getting money. The top are all of the departments of the government, and the bottom are all the needs you have in your community. You put yourself in the middle. And I said, just a simple thing like that. And so that generated me asking more questions in our group. And at the time, it was a difficult time because in Mexico, the Olympics was starting to happen. And the government didn't like protests. And that led to an event where a bunch of students were shot, kind of thing. I was in the mountains at the time when that happened. But the short of it is that he basically, a very simple idea, and then I said something. He says, well, there's CEDA, Canadian International Development Agency, write a grant. The grant took 2 days. We got $20,000. No, it was more, but I can't remember now. And then he was when we were going to Mexico that year in city. I was in the Guadalajara area. And in any case, he wanted to see all the projects that was happening then. So I got to travel across Mexico with him.
Okay.
10 to 15,000 miles back and forth. And then he told me about what was happening in Chile from, I'm bad on memories and names, but this guy had been in Brazil, had to escape from Brazil. And he was giving some workshops there. And that summer, he also gave a workshop in Mexico City, so I got to know him. And it's just connections.
Yeah.
And funny things happen, and
Yeah, sometimes
good
that's
thing.
what it is. It's
Well,
who
one of
you
the
know.
priests at I remember, he was a sociology class prof that had looked at me in my writing of this one essay that I wrote for him, and he was getting on a bus in Mexico, and his Spanish wasn't that well, so when he was asking the driver something, he was actually asking the driver to marry him.
No.
So it's just all these funny things happen, But he does point out to why he got involved, because he'd been down there and he saw how poor the people were across the road from the hotel, across the street. And that started CIASP. And it's just things like that.
Yeah.
And the most important is opening chances with people, talk to them, and that's
Well, everybody's.
and that's what's happening with you guys now.
Everybody's got their story. So
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing yours, and we encourage you guys to come on and share yours as well. So if you guys would like to come on, sit with me for an episode, maybe talk about something that's concerning you or concerning your community, feel free to reach out to myself personally. I will be linking my Instagram handle and my Facebook. And from there, I guess we will see you guys for the next podcast. Thank you very much.
And I can add too, the one thing that we were going to have a podcast today, or a broadcast with, because my last job was with youth centers across the country. So I was connecting this to about 60 youth centers across all the provinces and the territories.
Yeah.
To have people connect with us here and talk about what they're doing, what it's important for them. And then, of course,
like us locally as well.
Well, the company there, Instagram, upped their membership. And before, when we set this up, we thought...
Yeah, originally when we had set this up, everybody was able to shoot an Instagram live. And now with the updated terms and conditions, we need to reach 1,000 followers before we can do that. So,
and I just connected with, I think, about 65 youth centers across the country, and they were, not all of them, of course, but some of them would have been phoning in.
Yeah.
And so that's how it goes.
Yeah, so...
well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
For setting this up.
Yes.
You're great. Glad to be with you.
I'm grateful to have you on the show as well.
So take care.
You as well. Thank you guys for joining us.